Usa and Kunisaki are situated in the northern part of Oita Prefecture, and vestiges of its long history of over 1,300 years can still be seen today. This location hosts Usa Jingu Shrine, the head Hachiman shrine with over 40,000 shrines nationwide, and the Kunisaki Peninsula's Rokugo-uman-san temples. One can experience the syncretism of Shinto and Buddhism in many locations born from the Hachiman religion. On December 27, 749 AD, a major event was held at Todaiji Temple in the city of Nara, the old capital. Hachiman, the deity of Usa, promised Emperor Shomu that he will build the great Buddha and prepare the portable shrine to go to the capital. The emperor, as well as 5,000 others, including monks, took part in a ceremony, amidst which a senior priestess from Usa Jingu Shrine rode in atop a purple palanquin. Called Omiwa no Morime, the characters in the priestess' name indicate that she is the Mori, as in forest or shrine, where the deity dwells, and it is upon her that Hachiman depends. Her additional title of priestess nun also indicates that the deity Hachiman converted to Buddhism, that is, he was dependent upon the Buddha. By visiting Todaiji Temple at the time of the construction of the great Buddha, Hachiman of Usa led all the deities of Japan to the world of Buddhism. This was the very moment when Hachiman of Usa became the national deity. The merging of Shinto, the worship of the original deities of Japan, and Buddhism, the foreign religion where the Buddha was worshipped, became known as Shinto-Buddhist syncretism. The syncretism found in Usa and Kunisaki, and indeed in Japan as a whole, can trace its roots back to Hachiman's first encounter with a Buddhist monk named Horen, followed by his subsequent trip into the capital. From the remains of Kokuzoji Temple, which Horen himself founded, it is inferred that Horen studied in the capital of Asuka when he was younger. It was there the high priest Dosho lived, who had studied under Genjo Sanzo himself and had imported new Buddhist teachings, such as Zen, to Japan directly from China. It is believed that Horen was Dosho's pupil. Upon Horen's return from Asuka, he built Kokuzoji Temple in Yamamoto, Usa. The ruins of its pagoda remain today. Excavations have confirmed that the temple was built in the form of a small-scale Horyuji Temple complex, and recovered artifacts such as roof tiles and a Buddha confirmed connections to Asuka. After this, Horen went to present-day Soeda town in Fukuoka Prefecture, holding himself up in Hanya Cave for 12 years in order to obtain the wish-fulfilling jewel, Nyoi Hoju from the deity of Mount Hiko. After continuous praying, water started to flow from the cave and a dragon appeared with a treasure gem in its mouth, thus bestowing it to Horen. Serving beside him was Hachiman. In a painting kept at Hikosan Tamaya Jinja Shrine, which was built at Hanya Cave, Horen is depicted receiving the jewel. However, at the summit of Mount Hiko, only the Big Dipper is depicted. The main Usa Jingu Shrine, built on the highest ground, has 3 inner sanctuaries. The first, second, and third Goten. Kasugasha Shrine and Sumiyoshisha Shrine are located on either side of the main shrine, with a North Star deity enshrined in its first inner sanctuary. The North Star is revered as the deity that rules all other stars in the natural world, and is known in Japanese Buddhism as the Bodhisattva Myoken. According to oracles, in 703, the deity of the North Star first appeared at Mount Ogura, the upper shrine of the present-day Usa Jingu Shrine, and is now enshrined there. It is believed that the deity of the North Star played a large role in the syncretization of Shinto and Buddhism, having told Hachiman about Horen. Later, in 725, Hachiman moved the shrine to Mount Ogura, where it is said that the North Star deity who brought Horen to him appeared. It also seemed that Horen himself enshrined the Bodhisattva Myoken at his training site in the surrounding area. Furthermore, he built the Mirokuji Temple in the Hiyashi Valley at the northern foot of Mount Omoto. With this as his base, he trained at Mount Omoto and other neighboring mountains. In 737, Horen received a divine command to move the temple to the grounds of Usa Jingu Shrine, and Mirokuji Temple was relocated the following year. It became the temple hall. The Yakushi Shōonji Temple in Minami-mue of the Hiyashi Valley was also moved at the same time, and became the sanctuary of Mirokuji Temple. This is Mirokuji Temple, which would remain within Usa Jingu Shrine for more than 1100 years. The ancient Mirokuji Temple was located on the south side of present-day Usa Jingu Shrine's shrine office. Though nothing but the foundation remains now, an old map shows that there used to be a temple hall, a sanctuary, and a pagoda here. Using these illustrations and clues from excavations, we can reconstruct a 3D image of what Mirokuji Temple looked like. Here is the former complex brought back to life from the past. First, we create a temple hall. It is a huge building with 7 rooms in front and eaves on the sides. The Bodhisattva Maitreya Mirokubutsu in Japan was enshrined here. Next, we build a sanctuary. It is an impressive building with 5 rooms in the front and side eaves. The healing Buddha, Yakushi Nyorai, was enshrined here. And now, the towers to the east and west. The grounds of the Mirokuji Temple of ancient times were built on unusual terrain, with mountains to the south and the southern entrance leading downhill toward the temple hall. Although it is possible that the temple was constrained by an ancient government road entering from Kurehashi Bridge to the west, it does not seem to have been designed for people to enter from the south. The temple layout appears to be solely for the deities. The relocation took place to integrate Hachiman with Mirokuji Temple. This way, they might be able to release captured animals in the hope of preventing diseases caused by warfare or the tension leading up to war. Later, during the Fujiwara no Hirotsuku rebellion of 740, Hachiman was thought to have contributed to the retreat of the main force. The Hayato of the Osumi region, a 3-story pagoda, and the Golden Light Sutra and Lotus Sutra were donated to the shrine, making him an active military deity. Here, the foundation of the Mirokuji Temple complex is laid. Mirokuji Temple is said to have a Yakushiji Temple style layout. In ancient times, temples were generally built with the south as the front. There are 3-story pagodas on either side of the southern gate. Behind them are the sanctuary and temple hall, as well as the monks' quarters to the north. After the Heian period, a new temple complex was built on the north side of the former monks' quarters, including a 2-storied pagoda and Jogyodo Hall. Finally, at the end of 749 AD, Hachiman was brought to Todaiji Temple in the capital of Nara as the final touch. This was the idea of Emperor Shomu, who had become a monk himself and began to pursue Buddhist politics. It was an event that realized his vision of a Buddhist nation. Usa City also has a long-established ritual called Hojoe. Hojoe is the oldest festival associated with Usa Jingu Shrine, and it's thought that it started in Usa City before spreading across Japan. Hojoe began in the year 720. There are multiple theories as to why the ritual arose. One posits that it was born of the dismay that the deity Hachiman felt for all the deaths he caused when he lent his power to quell the Hayato rebellion, which took place in what is now Kagoshima Prefecture. Another theory is that after the Hayato rebellion was quelled, Nina sea snails, possessed by the spirits of Hayato people, underwent a population explosion in the Buzen Sea, creating an evil aura and potential for plague that Hojoe was meant to prevent. On the first day of Hojoe, Rokugo Mansan monks chant sutra before Hachiman's pelican at Wama Jinja Shrine in Usa City in a memorial service called Mukaeko. This is the Senohonomai Dance. The dance has been performed in many locations, including the chief priest's residence and Hyakudayusha Shrine, now Hyakutaisha Shrine. Participants, or the Seno-o, wear ceremonial white garb and masks, play a flute or hand drum, or dance as they cover their face with their right sleeve. The poses of their dance invoke the image of Isora, a deity of the sea, whose unpleasant face they conceal with their sleeves. Their sluggish dance can be unsettling. It's day 2 of Hojoe. Shinto priests travel to 3 shrines connected to the ritual to hold services. This is Nishigai Jinja Shrine, where the Ninae festival is held. The offering made during this festival is particularly important to Hojoe as a whole. Nina sees snails. It's said that the souls of slain Hayato people possessed these sea snails and Japanese hard clams, so these shellfish are arranged in a reed bundle called an ashizuto just before the event. Once the service has ended, the shellfish are sent to Wama Jinja Shrine. Meanwhile, the Suijin festival is held at Mizunoe Jinja Shrine, and the Shioya festival is held at Wama Jinja Shrine. During the late 19th century, Hojoe was reorganized as the Chushu Festival. Political influence of the time drove a wedge between Buddhism and Shinto, putting Shinto at the center of the event. But now Buddhist Rokugo Mansan monks participate in services at Wama Jinja Shrine once again. There are certain Hojoe events that are no longer seen today. Which events are upheld as tradition and which events have been lost depends on the region. Let's examine as many of the original events as we can. One event is sumo wrestling. At Wama, sumo wrestling matches are held, with one team representing the Hachiman-led Usa clan and another representing the Hayato rebels of Hyuga. An ancient and important Shinto ritual exists at a shrine in Nakatsu City, Oita, and Yoshitomi Town, Fukuoka. In the past, Wama locals would come to the beach, bring their ships into the river mouth, and have Kugutsunomai performances. These puppet sumo shows, which feature characters named after deities, are still performed once every 3 years at Koyo Jinja Shrine in Nakatsu City and Hachiman Kohyo Jinja Shrine in Yoshitomi Town. Along with a drum and flute accompaniment, shrine parishioners called odoriko make humorous performances with the dolls that draw laughter from the audience. The Western fighter, a puppet called Sumiyoshi-sama, is the highlight of the performance, appearing near the end of the matches to take down the entire cast despite his small size. Long ago, Hachiman was able to quell the Hayato people's rebellion by first mesmerizing them with a Kugusunomai performance. And it is this performance that was then ritualized to console their spirits. This unique puppet show is the oldest of its kind in Japan and continues to be passed down between generations. The ritual offering of sea snails from Nishigai Jinja Shrine to Hachiman over at Wama remains unchanged. A Shinto priest makes the offering at the floating shrine, and Buddhist monks line up before it. With the major festivities at Wama Jinja Shrine over, Shinto priests and Buddhist monks parade the sea snails over to a boat on the Yorimogawa River. Shinto priests board the boat and go to the middle of the river. In the past, a Buddhist monk from Mirokuji Temple was tasked with casting the sea snails into the river, but Shinto priests handle it currently. Once shrine priests finish their prayers and Buddhist monks finish their chants, the Shinto priests cast Nina sea snails into the sea to pray for the repose of the lost Hayato souls of Osumi province. The ritual is called Sangunogi. This is the most crucial ritual for Hojoe, which can be translated as meeting to release life. The ritual expresses thanks to all living things. Additionally, from a Buddhist point of view, this has the function of releasing Nina sea snails from Hayato possession and repenting for the sin of taking life. In the past, the release of the sea snails was followed with a Shishimai lion dance by children in Wama. Today, a similar dance is performed at Hibe Jinja Shrine in the Kunimi region of Kunisaki City, Oita Prefecture. Girls dressed as shrine maidens dance while pairs of boys in costume perform the lion dance. Their dance rivals any performance by adults, and is performed to pray for good health, bountiful harvests, and household prosperity. Next, we have the Kocho no Mai Dance, another past event. Children perform the dance in colorful costumes with butterfly wings. Kocho no Mai is paired with Karyobinga no Mai. Karyobinga, or Karavinka, in Sanskrit, is a figure from Buddhist text with the head of a man and body of a bird. In this dance, children wear costumes with bird tails and wings. Here, the Kocho and Karyobinga children surround a group of Buddhist monks. The monks, wearing bodhisattva masks, toss paper in the shape of lotus flowers in Sangye, a ritual to honor Buddha. After Kokushi Haire, the offering of a bronze mirror, another set of children's sumo, or warawa sumo, is performed with 5 pairs. Last is the Ranryo no Mai and the Nasori no Mai dances, which took place on stage. Ranryo no Mai is still performed at the Chineki festival of Usa Jingu Shrine to pray for an end to epidemics. Usa Jingu Shrine's Hojoe and its many events were first organized by the monk Horen and his Buddhist disciples. Through Hojoe, Horen and his disciples shoulder the Shinto deity of war, Hachiman's sin of killing, and avert the disease it would bring about by releasing life. Indeed, Hojoe was the start of Japan's syncretism of Buddhism and Shinto. Horen Shunin was the first administrator of Usa Jingu Shrine's Buddhist temple, Mirokuji. He built Kokuzoji Temple, of which inner shrine, Takasu Kannon, lies in the grotto, built into the cliff face in an architectural style called Kengai Zukuri. It is said Horen followed ascetic practices in the surrounding mountains of Kasho, Myoken, and Omoto, after which he went to the Kunisaki Peninsula. Every year, on the 4th of January, a Buddhist service called Takasu Kannon Onie is held here. It is said that Horen started this service to guard the Usa region against plagues and famine. After reciting a sutra, the local youths enter the freezing Yakangawa River wearing loincloths and holding torches about 2 meters long. Upon reaching the opposite shore, they worship at the Kannon-do Temple and pray for good health and rich harvests. Later, they light a 10-meter-tall bonfire. They then split up and chase away 2 large Oni demons and ward off evil by banging sticks against their torches. Ceremonies called Onie have been observed by temples in Rokugo-manzan in Kunisaki Peninsula since at least the early Middle Ages. It is said Kunisaki is where the great Bodhisattva Hachiman, in the form of Ninmon Bodhisattva, visited various crags and followed ascetic practices with Horen and the other monks of Usa. Kunisaki means land's end. Of old, it was the border region of the realm of the Yamato, and it was believed to be a terrible place where Oni demons would enter from another world. Horen and the other monks of Usa desired to achieve enlightenment by gaining the power of these Oni demons. Of old, Kunisaki was believed to be a terrible place where Oni demons dwelt. Here, Ninmon Bodhisattva and monks like Horen dug out caves and built small temples for ascetic practices. Because these were built into the mountains of the 6 ancient districts of Kunisaki Peninsula, they were named Rokugo-manzan, meaning temples in 6 districts. In the late Heian period, they broke away from Usa Hachiman-guru Shrine and became subsidiaries of Mirokuji Temple of the Tendai sect. Onie ceremonies, in which monks play the roles of Oni demons, are observed in this region. The Onie ceremonies of Tennenji Temple in Bungo Takada City and the Iwatoji and Jobuzuji temples in Kunisaki City are designated as national important intangible folk cultural properties and are observed to this day. It is said the Shujo Onie began as a fusion of Shujo-e, a New Year's Buddhist memorial service observed in the capital's temple during the Heian period, and Tsuina, a palace event to chase off evil spirits. Tennenji Temple is one of the leading temples for ascetic practices in Rokugo-manzan. The shrine was opened in 718 by Ninmon Bodhisattva, an incarnation of the Shinto deity Hachiman. The main hall is located in a cave on a rocky hill that rises up along the Nagai Wayagawa River. It is located side by side with the temple hall. Nearby is the path where Rokugo-manzan monks did their ascetic training. The Mumyobashi Bridge, an arched stone bridge spanning a ridge, is one of the path's most difficult sections. The Onie ceremony at Tennenji Temple is held every year on the 7th day of the Lunar New Year. The first matter of business is the making of a giant torch called Odai. It is 4 meters high and 50 centimeters in diameter. Cedar and bamboo are bundled and tied together with wisteria vines. Knots are tied in 12 places in accordance with the number of months in a year. On the day of the Onie ceremony, a service in which monks read sutra is held in the main hall of Tenenji Temple from early afternoon. In the evening, monks will become Oni demons. They, along with young men who assist, called Kaishaku, enter the river at Kawanaka Fudo. A purification ceremony called Kori Tori is held. Around 8 p.m., 3 large torches are lit. The torches are fixed in place, with the lit end facing the temple hall. They are turned 3 times to the left, 3 times to the right, and swung up and down 3 times. After the large torch ceremony, or Tai Age, is complete, the monks, dressed in their traditional attire, move into the temple hall, and the evening service finally begins. The sutra readings at the Suzu Oni are performed according to texts called the Oni Shiki. The ceremony is performed with unique verses and melodies. After the reading of the sutra, the Mai Dance is performed. Monks, dressed in black robes, hold perfumed Kozui sticks in their right hands. In their left, they hold a tray of rice, straw, and sacred canes. They dance rhythmically in time to the traditional verse. Two monks pray to Buddha and the heavenly deities and dance with the Kozui sticks. This Kozui dance involves a variety of moves, all performed while holding perfumed Kozui sticks. Each is a prayer to the deities and Buddha for safe completion of the Oni, and also a reenactment of the practices of the Bodhisattva Nimon and his disciples. When the Kozui dance gets most intense, performers stomp their feet to the tune and swing the Kozui sticks up and down and side to side. The temple hall has a boundary on all sides. It has the double purpose of preventing Oni demons from jumping out of the hall and keeping other evil creatures out. This is why at Tenenji temples, Suzu Oni, Oni demons are not allowed to leave the temple hall. And so, it is finally time for the Oni demons to reveal themselves. In the Suzu Oni, there are 3 types of Oni demons: the Suzu Oni, the Saibalai Oni, and the Ala Oni. Starting with the Suzu Oni, they wear male and female masks and dance with Suzu bells in their right hand and a rattle in their left. This dance is meant to invite the Ara Oni. It is light-hearted but integrates moves for beckoning Oni demons. After the Suzu Oni leave the stage, the red Saibarai Oni and black Ala Oni arrive on the backs of Kaishaku helpers. The Oni demons of Tenenji Temple have no horns and have several stripes across their faces. They also sport large ears to hear the wishes of mankind. They have strings tied all around their bodies, with the red Oni demon holding an axe and the black a sword. Oni demons emerged from the surrounding rock formations and were beings of terrifying power. However, the red Oni demon is an incarnation of Horin and Lakalaja, while the black is the incarnation of Bahisafa Nimon and Akala. They are also regarded as the ancestral deities of the people of the region. After beckoning the Oni demons, with Kaishaku helpers in tow, they are let loose inside the hall. This cry is thought to come from a mispronunciation of Horin Shoninyo. The chief priest, called Inju, scatters rice cakes called Oni no Me, or Oni Demon Eyes, to the locals who participate in the ceremony. The Oni demons strike the people who pick up the rice cakes with the torches they are holding. They believe that if you are hit by the Oni demons, you will be in good health for the rest of the year. Finally, the red and black Oni demons tap the backs and shoulders of all worshippers with torches. The ceremony ends with a prayer for good health and the suppression of Oni demons. In previous times, the Shujo Onie were held in various temples, but now there are fewer temples, and it has become difficult due to a lack of funds and personnel. However, the Iwatoji and Jobusuji temples continue this tradition by taking turns holding the ceremony. The Shujo Onie of Iwatoji Temple in the northeast of Kunisaki Peninsula is held every other year on the 7th day of the Lunar New Year. In the Shujo Oni seen here, two types of Oni demon appear, the Suzu Oni and the Ara Oni. First, the Suzu Oni appear. They dress as male and female and dance with a Suzu bell in their right hand and a staff in their left. Their masks are said to represent the compassion of Buddha. Meanwhile, at the cavern sanctuary of Iwatoji Temple, monks are dressing up as Oni demons. The Iwatoji Temple was so named because the head of a Mongolian demon general was buried in the cavern temple behind it. Oni demons with terrible power entered this world from another, and since became the central figures of Shujo Onie. Two monks are bound with straw rope to represent Oni demons. This is the moment monk becomes Oni demon. Their bodies are bound with rope in 12 places. After the Suzu Oni leave, the two Ara Oni are carried on the backs of Kaishaku, their supporting figures, from the cavern temple to the temple hall. Iwatoji Temple has two Oni demons, Saibarai Oni and Shishimai Oni. Jobusuji Temple has three, Saibarai Oni, Ara Oni, and Shishimai Oni. The Oni demon, with one horn atop its head, is the Saibarai Oni. The one with no horn is the Shishimai Oni. It is said that Oni demons themselves are worshipped at temples, where the Oni ceremony is held. The Oni demons tap worshippers' shoulders with their torches as a prayer for their health. They then leave the temple and visit local homes and receive their hospitality. This represents the power of the Oni demons being turned into a blessing for the people. After the Oni demons have made their rounds, they return to the temple hall. The Oni ceremony ends when rice cakes are put in the Oni demons' mouths to calm them. The Oni demons could be described as monks who attained demonic power through training in the mountains of Kunisaki. In a sense, they acquired the power of nature. Although they were demons, their explosive power was controlled by their bound form. Their poison worked as medicine, and they promised people good fortune. The Onie became a local event by allowing local people, not only temple monks, to take part in its ceremony. This shows the strong connection between the Rokugo-monzan temples and their surroundings. The religious world of Usa and Kunisaki, represented by the Shujo Onie ceremony, has a history spanning over 1,300 years and a legacy that lives to this day.